Week 6 is in the books, and we said it last week on our preview episode. We told you that there would be upsets, and boy, were there. One that was particularly stunning. Of course, we will get to that here in a bit. We'll also hit you with our Week 7 top 12 rankings. You don't want to miss that, which, surprise, surprise, features yet another change at the top of the list. And we'll hit you with some early lines for Week 7 coming up here in the future. This is Always Talking Ball. Tyler, Nohe, Lance Barton. Real quick before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe, whatever platform you're tuning in on. Make sure you follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. And our weekly episode is brought to you by Frost Buddy. Got my big Frost Buddy here with the guns up. Got a big win over Houston last night, which my boy Lance here was all over on the picks last week. So you're going to want to tune into our preview episode. We've been catching some fire here, kind of maintaining that above 50% for our best bets for the week. So you're going to want to catch our Wednesday/Thursday episode every week. All right, let's talk a little Canes Knowles last night. Miami gets the job done, 28-22 in Tallahassee. It really wasn't that particularly close. Florida State kind of put up 19 there in the fourth quarter, and it was 28-3 at one point. They weathered the early storm. Florida State came out hot. Obviously, the atmosphere we talked about with the Doak, and they had, True Falciola doing the spear at midfield, all that good stuff. Florida State went up 3-0, and then after that, it was all Canes, man. Like they just Carson Beck is playing very well. Like the stats may not like show it a lot. Like he had 7 touchdown passes before last night, but just like his timely throws, man, timely throws are where it's at for him. They've got an elite defense. It's crazy to say, like this time in October, we talked about Corey Heatherman all off season, and that was the big question. Could their defense get any better to help their offense? And like their defense is fantastic. It's one of the top defenses, and it's one of the most surprisingly top defenses in the country so far.
Yeah, man. Miami just a complete team right now, dude. They're just and wouldn't you agree? They're playing complementary football. They run the ball well. They're really good offensive line. Beck is making plays, like you said, when it's needs to be. Like when he really needs to make plays, he's managing the games really well. Just distributing the ball, being a good point guard, efficient. 4 touchdowns, no picks. That was another thing in a big game like that. Miami had no turnovers, and Florida State had 3. So they're not making a bunch of mistakes. They're fundamentally sound. That's usually not something you say about a Miami team, honestly. It's how fundamentally sound they are. They usually got a lot of athletes, and even their better years, they would just out-athlete you to death. And this team also has a lot of great athletes, but they're fundamentally sound, bro. And defensively, just really impressive, man. Going on the road. That was what we talked about in the going into the game was that what travels? A really good offensive line and a defense. Now, Miami didn't necessarily run the ball really well in this game, but honestly, I just think that they were going to be just efficient, solid on offense and let that defense work, bro. I think they realized pretty quick that Florida State was going to have a tough time moving the ball on them and absolutely did. So dude, we were kind of talking about this a minute ago. So Beck right now is he second currently in the Heisman odds? On the odds-on favorite.
He's actually tied with Dante Moore
for on FanDuel.
6-1.
Yeah. So he's obviously. Miami too. Depends on what poll you look at. Everybody's got them ranked. Obviously 1, 2, or 3. No matter what you look at, power ratings have them a little bit lower. Yep. They haven't quite caught up to a ranking like everybody has them right now,
which is fine because you look at those power ratings, that's what Vegas looks at. So keep betting on Miami to cover those spreads.
Yeah.
And depending on when you got it last night, it opened at 6.5. So that late touchdown for Florida State could have been really important for a lot of people, but it ended up closing around 4.5. So they still covered the closing line.
Yeah. Unless I'm being prisoner of the moment here, just not thinking about it right now. Corey Heatherman is the best coordinator hire of the offseason, right? At this moment. I'm sure if somebody can hop in the comments and tell me if there's somebody else that I'm messing up on.
There'll be people talking about Matt Patricia for sure.
Yeah, but
he's allowed 25 points.
Agreed.
But again, from where they came from, right? But again, Ohio State was also, they were placing a lot of guys too. So You got to get. I mean, they still had, we're stacked with 4 and 5 stars, but from where Miami's defense was last year to the turnaround this year, yeah, I mean, it's. I would give my vote. My vote would be for Heatherman.
Yep, and I know that's not gonna get the, the publicity yet of Heatherman, but my beloved cousin, Sheil Wood, what Texas Tech and that defense is doing,
Hmm.
we'll get to more of them here in a minute.
Yeah,
Another great hire, but we talked about coordinators all offseason, man, and just what a difference they really can make, and some of these guys are making us look really good about how much we talked about them, and Corey Heatherman's definitely one of them. So, obviously, man, the Canes getting that win, big road win like that in conference play, just such a huge leg up for them now as far as the ACC championship is concerned, as far as college football playoffs are concerned. When you really take a dive into the Cane schedule going forward, I mean, they've got another bye week. Again, that weird, just 2 bye weeks, basically like bye week before Florida State, play Florida State, and then a bye week after that. And then I think they have to play 7 or 8 games straight. One of the only teams in college football that have to do that this year.
yeah,
So the scheduling dynamics of that, of at the end of the year, they've got to go on the road to Virginia Tech and Blacksburg in late November, and what the weather will be like then. Then they got to go on the road and play Pitt. We saw what Pitt did yesterday when they switched quarterbacks and went with that freshman phenom that they've got. So if they go on the road and play Pitt, and then after that, they'll have to go to Charlotte and play in the ACC championship game. That's what they'll have to do to win the ACC.
yeah.
And I know winning the ACC is obviously very important for Miami. Like, I know that's,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not, breaking any news there, but at that point, when you're sitting there later in the year, you're in the college football playoff at that point and stuff. It's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see how they manage all of that. I'm not saying they're going to try to throw games or lose games on purpose or anything, but with those scheduling dynamics, it's just, just weird, man, playing 7, 8 straight weeks. And then you got to go play in the ACC championship game. You got to think Miami will make sure they want to be 100% healthy going into the playoffs as long as they continue to take care of business going forward.
Yeah, they've got Louisville on a Friday night at home. They still got to go to SMU too. So I think like projecting forward here, and we're probably about a week out from our live Tuesday night shows that we do
Yep.
during college football playoff rankings, and we love doing those. We love the interaction from you guys. Um, Miami finishes 12-0. They lose in the ACC championship game. I mean, right now, like from their resume and everything, it looks like they would be in. I would put them in, right? And that
Oh,
would put two
100, yeah,
ACC teams in.
easily, yes.
What about 11-1 with like a loss to like SMU, right? And then they lose and they go 11-2, kind of like a la Clemson or not Clemson, SMU last year, in the ACC championship
Still
game.
in, still
Probably
in.
sneak in too, right? So
No,
yeah,
no,
I mean,
not even sneak, not even sneak. They would be squarely in the field,
home
like
game.
100% in the field. Oh yeah, if they've got 2 losses, not ACC champion, and they've got a win against Notre Dame in the non-conference. I know Florida may be 6-6 at the end of the year, but
Yeah,
still don't care. They played Florida. I know we'll talk about them in a minute. They played Florida, beat Florida. They beat against South Florida, doing what they're doing. Yeah, absolutely. Miami would have to self-destruct at this point to not get in. And as far as Florida State is concerned now, I mean, really the only path I see for them is is somehow getting back into this thing in the eight. Because I mean, outside of Miami, I know there's some other teams that are having solid years in the ACC, just starting out. I mean, we're just really getting started in conference play here. But Florida State, if they win out, they could be still sitting there for the chance to play in the ACC championship game.
yeah.
I mean, they need some help. They're now one of those teams that they're going to need help around them. All they can do is take care of their own business and win from here on out. But dropping their first 2 ACC games to go an 0-2 in conference play to start, not ideal. But they got to get up off the mat and play a solid Pitt team this coming up week. But after that, man, I mean, who knows? I'm not going to sit here and say that Clemson is going to all of a sudden find themselves, but maybe they do, man. They still got a lot of talent on that team and some really good coaches on that staff. They got to go on the road to Clemson in early November. Uh, they've got to go on the road to Gainesville at the end of the year to play
They,
Florida.
they need both those teams to win some games before they play them and get
Yep.
possibly rank them in the top 25. If I guess if we want to count ranked wins.
Yep, agreed. So I mean, Florida State is not out of it yet. It's a lot tougher now for them, and they're going to have a huge hill to climb, and they're going to need help around them. But all they can do now is just take care of their own business and win out. And if they do, they might have a shot, depending on what goes on around them in the ACC, to make a run and play in the college football playoff still. But it's going to be a tough hill to climb.
Let's talk about the game you were at yesterday. Boots on the ground for ATB in Tuscaloosa. Alabama gets a 30-14 victory over Vanderbilt. I talked to you yesterday. You were having a great time, and you you went for it, man. You took Alabama minus 14. You bought up a couple points. You're like, let's just go for it. And boy, did Jam Miller come through for you, and he just crushed all the Vandy plus 9.5, plus 10.5 betters out there. It even got up to 12.5. So you took that late. That's that right there. That's why you don't bet. That's why you don't bet.
Yep, 100%, man. I saw where Johnny Football had like 20K on Vandy. And
Yeah,
just can't imagine, again, breaking a tackle like that at the end of the game. If they just tackle him there, the next play is going to be victory formation, take a knee, game over. But
yeah,
he breaks the tackle and breaks loose, and Jam Miller scores. And anybody that backed Alabama there, he got you to the window
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But
30-14 victory. This 3:30 window delivered once again.
mhm.
This was by far the most exciting TV window of the day. And so I'll let you talk about, obviously, being at the game and like kind of seeing with your own eyes without watching it on TV and stuff. Um, Vandy came out, obviously, threw the first punch like they did last year. Big long touchdown run, 65 yards, I think. Very evenly played game in the first half, and Pavia, throughout the whole game, a couple red zone turnovers really hurt him. Could have used some of those points, and very evenly played first half. You could kind of see, though, like I talked to you, you kind of see that last drive of the first half when Alabama went down the field in a minute and 11 seconds. Like it's almost like a light switch, whereas like they kind of, okay, we can do what we want in this game. And really in the second half too, they shut down Vanderbilt's running game.
Yep.
Vanderbilt had 11 yards per carry in the first half. Obviously ate about a couple long runs, but other than that, they shut down Vanderbilt's running game. They forced Pavia to make mistakes. Some Vandy fans out there saying, "Oh, we don't make mistakes, like we win the game." Like, but you got forced into making those mistakes, and they're saying it's a pass interference and interception. No, no, no. The defensive back has the right to go get the ball. So it's a lot of excuses. There's a lot of trash talking before this game. Props to Vandy for trying to go in the Tommy Castellanos route of talking trash and backing it up. Almost did, but in the end, Alabama got it done and got a little revenge. And we're going to be talking about Alabama a lot over the next month or two because if you haven't seen their schedule, I mean, it's a gauntlet. It's absolutely loaded. And so, if you don't like people talking about Alabama, this probably isn't the show for you for multiple reasons. So we're gonna be talking about them a lot, though.
Yeah, 100%. I've already coming off playing Georgia, and now they've just played Vandy. Now they're about to hit the road and go to Mizzou and go to South Carolina, play Tennessee, play
Yep.
LSU, play Oklahoma. You're right, man. It's a murderer's road, no doubt. But in this one, man, I think you hit the nail on the head talking about that drive there at the end of the first half. Uh, it just really felt like even more being there live, dude, that if when Simpson has time, that wide receiver core and him, they're just going to pick you apart. Like there's going to be guys that are going to get open. That receiver core is too good not to get open. And I mean, you've got 4 or 5 of those guys out running routes. I mean, the chances of you being able to prevent somebody from getting open it's low. It just is. And as accurate as Simpson is, and as confident as he seems to be playing right now, it's fun to watch, man. No doubt about it. And like I said, I know a lot of people that you maybe hate Alabama or aren't an Alabama fan. I mean, I've seen a lot of people talking about they're actually pulling for Simpson because in the age of the transfer portal era, he stuck around like he did, and he's getting his chance. And seems like a really good dude too, and everything. So it's
he's basically Arch Manning, but he has talent.
pretty much, yeah. I
Ooh,
mean,
too soon? Was
yikes.
that too soon?
Yikes. That's hilarious. Just something I just didn't understand. So Cedric Alexander, the tailback for Vandy, I mean, right out of the gate, he went like 65 yards on that
Yeah.
opening possession and scored. And I felt like I never saw him the rest of the game. He had 4 total carries. Now, being there live, like, it's kind of hard to keep up. I don't, maybe he got injured. I don't know if you're listening, let's check it, comment on this and let us know if you did. Cause I was just curious. Like, I was like, where is he at? Why is he not playing? Why are they not giving him the
Mhm.
football? And they
Yeah.
really put the game in Pavia's hands. I mean, I don't know that it's the recipe for success necessarily in all of Vandy's games for them to put it in the air 35 times.
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, again, Pavia is very solid, really solid quarterback. Dude's a winner. and believes in himself. But like, I just don't think that's the recipe for success for Vandy to be able to take some. They need to be able to control clock, run the football, be
Yeah,
balanced. And I
and they
mean, dude, they
didn't
had
control clock. I mean,
18.
if you look at the time of possession last year versus this year, it was 37-23 this year in favor of Alabama.
Yep. And I'll get to that in just like right after this. Like Vandy only had 18 carries total in the game, 12 of them by Pavia,
Yeah.
and they threw the ball 35 times. But on the flip side of that, Jam Miller being back is for people that don't realize what a big deal that really was that he wasn't playing earlier in the year. Uh, I mean, I don't remember the last time a back for Alabama ran for more than 20 carries and was running for a lot of yards per carry and running for over 120 yards in a game like he did. Uh, Again, if they get that kind of effort and get that kind of production out of the running game with as good as what Simpson and that wide receiver core is, they're going to be a tough offense to stop, man. No question. And I,
Yeah, we have a ton of Alabama fans on our X page and appreciate you guys. They were all over the place. And I talked to you at halftime and you said we should never run the ball again. We should throw it. And then
yeah,
you've got guys on X like throughout the whole second half is like, stop being so cute and just run the dang ball. And it was all over the place. Like you were questioning the play calling of Grubb in the first half and all this stuff. So
yep.
it really I mean, it really every game so far has been a roller coaster for Alabama fans.
Yeah, it is because I mean you want to see them feature that passing game more, but then there's Jam Miller running the ball well, so you're like, okay, well, if we keep running the ball and you keep it out of Vandy's hands, that like you said, the time of possession, that's
Yeah,
where that flipped. Alabama kept the ball out of Pavia's hands. They kept their offense off the field. I mean, it was what you wanted from a overall like effort out of the offense. Defensively, Kane Womack made an interesting move in this game. He put Justin Jefferson, the linebacker, at the wolf position, which usually is a deep, kind of a hybrid DB safety, like a type of role that someone plays. And they put Jefferson in that spot to get a little bit more
sure.
size to be able to try to corral the running game from Vandy and not allow them to get those 4 to 5 just here's 4 yards and then run 30 seconds off the play clock and then get another 4 yards like they did last year. And Jefferson ended up having like 14 tackles in the game, and the next closest guy to get anywhere near him had 4 tackles. So I mean, Jefferson was off the charts, really good in this game. That was a little wrinkle that Womack threw out there. Again, Alabama defensively played really well overall. But going forward, I know Simpson right now thinks like third or fourth in the
Mhm.
Heisman outlook right now on far as like odds on favorites. Uh, Again, man, I don't think they're going to go through the rest of this schedule unscathed, man. I don't like it's just too hard. They're eventually it's going to wear down and they're going to find a spot somewhere and lose. That could be this coming up weekend at Mizzou. They're coming off a bye. Bama plays multiple teams that are coming off buys as well. I think I
Yeah,
saw you may have been the one that sent it to me that Alabama plays teams coming off facing FCS opponents and coming off facing or coming off a
yeah,
bye, like multiple
yeah.
teams going forward. Uh, as far as Vandy is concerned, again, man, I was there live. They're solid, dude. They are. They're a solid bunch.
Mhm.
It's amazing how much better they really are, and how much how well coached they are. Overall, he saw Clark Lee getting out. They kind of got. I think they kind of got the a little bit of the motion of the game got to them a little bit more than I think the Clark Lee would have allowed. Really wanted
Sure.
to. Some of those mistakes that you were talking about, I think some of that was caused by like they're just honestly they were ramped up, bro. They were ramped up before that
Yeah.
game, and not necessarily in the greatest way, to be honest with you. Uh, but I mean, do you think Vandy could be? I'm looking at their schedule. Do you think Vandy could still be like an 8-win type team or no?
They got LSU coming up after a bye week, and they get them at home. And like, I mean, they could beat LSU at home.
Yeah,
Like we've watched LSU,
yeah.
and they get Missouri at home. I mean, they could probably beat Missouri at home. I mean, they go to Texas. Like, there's really not a game on their schedule that I'm looking at that they cannot win.
And you're just like, there's
So
no way they can win that. I agree. I
yeah,
agree.
and
At
that's saying a
Tennessee,
lot for Vandy.
and Knoxville, I just don't see that. Maybe so, but Tennessee hardly ever loses at home. But
Sure,
yeah, you're not lying, man. I mean, I look at these games and it's funny. I
they
look at
still
a
got four
Vanderbilt
road
schedule.
home games left.
Right. I look at a Vanderbilt schedule and I'm like, no, there's no way they can win that. No, I don't feel that way at all. Uh,
Yeah.
about any of these games. Crazy to say that. When did you think you'd be sitting here saying before the season started that when they go to Austin that there was You actually
Yeah,
think that there's a chance that Vandy
yeah.
could go in there and win that game.
I bet they're over on the win total, but I didn't think that. So a lot has
Right.
changed in the first 6 weeks of college football.
Yes, it has.
Um, yeah, Alabama, I mean, they're pretty stout at home. Um, Obviously, the Auburn game at the end of the year is always gonna be, problems, just for who it is and what it is, and it's DeBoer's first time going to Auburn, like, we've seen crazier things happen, right?
Yep.
That Oklahoma game, if Mateer is healthy, I don't know if Oklahoma's offense, like, we've talked about him not being able to do it all, and obviously he's out for a couple weeks, and we got our fingers crossed here for 6 days that he can somehow make an appearance at Red River, but Oklahoma is one of the few teams on here that I think with that D line could get that pressure on Simpson that you're talking about, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
defense is
He
so
could.
nasty. But some of these other teams, like I don't know if Missouri has the defensive line to do that. I don't know if Tennessee does because Gunnar Stockton had plenty of time to throw. Like LSU, I'm not sure. So Oklahoma will be that one that I'm circling, and obviously again, it's in Tuscaloosa. Again, it'll be a revenge game for Alabama from last year. So it is a gauntlet of a schedule here with 4 or 5 ranked teams. But again, we always say that's a lot of opportunities to obviously keep climbing up that board and keep getting those marquee wins. Like for them, week 1, that's always going to be there. And it's always going to be anything anyone says the first time they talk about Alabama. But like, just like Notre Dame last year, it's just a blip. And it's like, okay, teams now in college, they can have bad days. Okay. And like your better wins, like I always look at your better wins more than your bad losses. Like those are always more valuable to me. And so far they've got one over Georgia, they've got one over Vandy that you and I both had ranked top 10. And like you said, like we talked about, you want to lose early. They lost as early as you could possibly lose, right? In week 1. So um
The only thing that I'll disagree with there, I agree with everything you say except one thing. I don't think that that's only going. I don't think that's going to be the first thing that anybody's going to mention about Alabama anymore because of the schedule. Like you alluded to it, all the marquee
there's
matchups that
always
they've
gonna be
got.
those loser fans out there that are gonna say, oh well, they lost to Florida State week
Well, they'll just
1.
expose themselves as idiots
Yeah.
if they do
Yeah.
that. If Alabama's sitting there at the end of the year with wins over Oklahoma, LSU,
Yeah.
Georgia, and like there, honestly, there's nobody in the country I don't think that'll if they do go through that schedule and win every game except one of them or win all of them, there will not be another team in college football that'll have better wins
Yeah.
than that. But you're right, there
Yeah.
are some people that'll probably still say that stuff. My last
Yeah.
question to you on this is when it gets fun to start talking about some of these hypotheticals. I still believe that there will be a 9-3 team that will get in as of right now. I still believe that. I actually believe it even more now than I did before because some of these bigger brands in these other conferences, a la Penn State and others, just keep losing. And I don't think that a 10, whether it's right or wrong doesn't matter. I don't think that the committee is going to leave out, like, again, we're talking about Alabama right now. Let's just use this as an example. The crazy schedule that they've got. If Alabama goes 9-3 and they've got wins over Georgia and LSU and Oklahoma and like stuff like that, like they're probably going to get
Basically,
in, whether anybody likes it or
you're
not. Like that's
you're
beside the
basically
point.
saying what they did last year.
The what?
You're basically saying what they did last year.
Close
Wins over
to it.
Georgia, wins over LSU.
Close to it, yeah, close to it. But
Yeah,
like their
yeah,
their overall resume would probably stack up and be better. But like I just use it as an example. There's
yeah,
other teams that could that in the SEC. Oklahoma's one of them.
yeah.
With the schedule that they've got, that if they're sitting there 9-3 at the end of the year, that there's a good chance they could get in. I still believe that that's going to be the case. That there will be a 9-3 team that will get in, and could be more. Could be more than one team at 9-3 that gets in. But I'm not going to predict that at this moment. But I still think at least one team that's 9-3 will get in.
There might be a 9-3 SEC champion.
There seriously could be, man. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the schedule of some of these teams. It's just unbelievable. And like two, the way these tiebreakers work in these super conferences, we could be sitting here at the end of the year with an SEC championship matchup of Mizzou versus Ole Miss.
Mhm.
Seriously, like as we sit here right now and you look at it, like if Mizzou would pull off an upset this week against Alabama. And by the way, I'll ruin it right now, but that's the only line I saw far as guess the spread's concerned. That's the only line that I've seen. So obviously Vegas thinks so too. That because I had friends, man, in group text sending me that going, how are we only favored by blah blah blah? And then I had a Mizzou friend of mine here in St. Louis that texted me and said, dude, Vegas thinks we got a shot this weekend. And I was like, do you not? Do you not
Yeah,
think you
you're
got a
good.
shot?
You're a good team.
Exactly. Good football team.
Yeah. Yeah.
But point is if Mizzou wins that game, I mean, they're sitting there holding a tiebreaker now, if against Alabama in a situation like that, and if they've only got, there's going to be I think there are going to be multiple teams, like you said, that may have one or two SEC losses, and you're going
Yeah.
to be sitting there with a crazy tiebreaker scenario. So who knows at that point who gets in
Yeah.
based off that? So it's possible, man. You could see something like that.
For me, I'm not even ready to start thinking about college football playoff yet.
Yeah,
Give
I
me
get it.
give me another couple weeks, So,
Yep.
and again, it's all about who you lose to, when you lose, and how you lose,
Yep.
which transitions us into our next topic. We talked about obviously the two marquee games of the week, and we didn't know the third marquee game of the week was going to be Penn State and UCLA. Obviously everybody knows what happened by now. 42-37 UCLA victory in the Rose Bowl. And the fans there, it wasn't quite a field storming, it was more like a light drizzle. Just trickling just trickling out on the
The
field.
10 the 10 people that were in the Rose Bowl to be
Yes.
treated to that
Yeah, I
game.
mean,
Yeah.
it's never good when you got that many more tarps than people. Um,
Yeah.
Fifth time ever and the first time in 40 years that a top 10 team lost to an opponent that was 0-4 or worse. Um, we're gonna talk about UCLA first here because obviously we're gonna get to Penn State, but I mean, finally, right? Nico with the best game of his career. I was equating it to what I saw last year, and I remember he lit up NC State pretty hard last year, earlier in
Yep.
the year.
Yep.
Um, this was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was just out of absolutely nowhere. Had one of the highest QBRs of the week. I had 130 yards rushing,
I was gonna
something
say
like that.
Nico Vick was out there running around just running rings around Penn State's defense.
And, obviously, I saw someone noted that Penn State didn't spy him until midway through the fourth quarter. So, needless to say, there are plenty of takes on DC Jim Knowles
Yep.
out there right now.
Yep. And I mean, right now it's not looking good for either one of those coordinators. I mean, Andy Kotelnicki is getting blasted by Penn State Nation right now, and I mean Jim Knowles and that Penn State defense, man, giving up 42 points and to let UCLA do what they did in that game. Hearing James Franklin after the game, like I know you'll get to your probably part here in a minute about the complaining about travel, but him talking
I knew no
about
one was going to complain about that.
yeah, him talking about like how they weren't ready to play and all that. Obviously, that was very obvious. They weren't. They just flat out weren't ready to play, and they were caught with their pants down. 27-7, bro. Again, I wasn't sitting there watching it live. I caught the little whatever that YouTube channel is that you've put me on before that you can see a
Yeah.
ton of plays within about 20 to 30 minutes of highlights. And I saw a good bit of that today. But when they're flashing that score while I was there in Bryant Denny, I mean, people all around us, man, were like, are y'all Penn State? What do they do? And of course, I'm checking the group text with all you guys. But man, Penn State not able to run the football in the game much at all. And just defensively getting absolutely abused by UCLA. And I'm going to say it again too, man. It's a remarkable that UCLA sitting there at 0-4 on the year can get themselves up off the mat like that and put a performance out there like that. After losing their head coach, and I got to be honest, I definitely thought that they were going to mail it in for the year, and for them to come out and give that type of an effort, fantastic. And as far as Penn State's concerned,
They did the exact opposite. I mean, they literally
yeah,
it seemed like they just put everything into last week with the whiteout in Oregon,
yep,
and they could not get themselves off the mat, and they let it trickle over, obviously big time in this
classic
game.
example of letting one loss turn into multiple. And if they're not careful, man, they still got to play Sigs in Indiana. They still got to play in Columbus against the Buckeyes. I think they still go to Iowa City and play the Hawkeyes. I mean, seriously, like if you can go on the road and lose to UCLA, you can lose anybody, obviously, in the Big Ten
Mhm.
at this point. And This is reaching scary hours for the Nits at this point. And I, I know you don't want to talk playoff stuff, but
No point with Penn State.
I'm gonna say I've seen so many people putting on Twitter, they're done, they're out, it's over, their season's over. I actually disagree. Uh, I really do. If they win every game on their schedule and have wins over a top 15 Indiana and number 1 or 2 Ohio
Yeah.
State on the road, they're in. They're probably going to get in more than likely. I mean, obviously we have to see what happens around them, but there's a great chance that they'll still get in at that point.
It's just gonna be tough for them. I mean, they're unranked in the AP. Like, it's gonna be tough for them to, in mid-October, climb all the way back. And I put out a tweet yesterday, if you don't have a Power 4 win by mid-October, then you should, they should just ban you from the college football playoff. That,
Yeah,
like, from that for that year. Like, you should have a Power 4 win
yeah,
by October to be eligible for the
yeah.
playoff.
0 and
That's
2,
just crazy.
0 and 2 in Big Ten play and no powerful wins. That's a joke. Uh, Go ahead, man. I'll let you say. I'm sure you want to say something about the travel stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming a weekly thing, and it's getting really tired. And, like, I think Penn State, they make one all these East Coast teams and Central Time Zone teams, I think they make one trip out west a year,
Yeah.
and that's it. Whereas at least, I mean, like Oregon, they've got to travel, I think, 15,000 combined miles throughout their games. They literally just went to Happy Valley 7 days ago, 8 days ago now, and took care of business. And so, James Franklin, he just took a page out of Lincoln Riley's book, and, Oregon did the same thing a week ago. They kicked your butt. Washington didn't have any issues traveling to College Park, 2,800 miles, and coming out with a victory against Maryland, even though they were down 20 to nothing. And it's just, he really is, man. Like, James Franklin's running out of excuses. And I posed the question, I think, to David Cohn when he was on, or whoever, like, say if they lost to Oregon and Ohio State, would people be, obviously Penn State fans would not be happy with that, because again, it's two more, losses and big games. Would they be calling for his head? Like, again, like, you're talking about scary hours, man. Like, this could get scary for James Franklin. Like, he still has what, one top 10 win or something like that. I mean, one top 5 win. I mean, it's I don't know.
I don't think they'll fire him, but I've seen a lot of people putting on there. Would there be like a mutual parting of ways where maybe Franklin would want to go coach somewhere else? And I don't. Again, I don't. I'm not obviously dialed into the Penn State. Uh, all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on there. I know the fans. It seems like for the most part, I mean, aren't crazy with him. Obviously, definitely not at the moment. With everything that they had coming back this year, like this was their year, dude. This was their year. I
Yeah.
mean, there were so many people that had them preseason number 1 in the country
Hmm.
this year. So many people's national championship pick. Them, Clemson, and Texas.
Yeah. 8-7.
Yeah, 8 and 7 combined on the year. Unbelievable.
All of them unranked.
Yes, all 3 of them unranked. Yep. And just I don't know, man. I mean, the only good news is for Penn State, they can't go anywhere but up here from here at this point. I mean, it don't get much worse than losing to UCLA. But I mean, uh,
They get
I
Northwestern at
can't believe
home.
that happened.
I know we're at a loss for words, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's, you
I
don't know what
really
to
can't
say.
believe I'm in this pick'em pool, man, with like my wife's in it, Emily, and she's freaking dominating it right now, by the way. And you just pick the winner, not against the spread or anything like that, and you put confidence points on it. Dude, everybody had so many confidence points on Penn State, and rightfully
Sure.
so.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable that they lost that game straight up, man. Wow.
Yeah. They get Northwestern at home this week. And again, they should take care of
Mhm.
business there. But then, like you talked about, at Iowa, bye week, at Ohio State, and then Indiana comes to town. They got to go at Michigan State still. So,
I'm
yeah, if
inter
they're not careful.
I'm interested to see what Happy Valley is gonna be like this week, what the vibes are like there
Yeah.
this week. Like, what if they come out and start struggling, bro? Seriously, what if they come out and start struggling? They'll be booing that team off the field, dude. You
They
think?
got to get, I mean, I just can't believe their offense is as bad as it is.
Yeah, me either. Me either. Like I said, I definitely was obviously I thought really high of Andy Nicky. A lot of people did. And I don't know if it is Drew Aller's just so booty or if it is his fault. I've got, some Penn State friends messaging me that they're absolutely destroying it, Andy Kotelnicki. Maybe it is him, man. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know the answer. But I do know that Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, I mean, Singleton, like far as yards per carry average, I mean, he did okay overall, but dude, you should be able to go to UCLA, even if you don't care that much, and just turn around and hand the freaking ball off to Allen and Singleton and get out of there with a win. And the fact that they couldn't do that, just again, just amazing to me. It really is.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other upset of the day, which was much more minor. And one person on this show called it, and that was Florida taking care of business against Texas. The line got down to 4.5. So, yeah, that's why I say it was much more minor than a 24.5 point upset. Florida I mean, Billy Napier, like he is what's the analogy you use about the boxer? Like, you see, he's bleeding. He's not a machine. He's a man. Like,
Yeah.
no, I think Billy Napier's a machine. I think he's a machine. When he gets his back against the wall, he cannot be beat. Like, this is exactly what they did last year. I'm not saying Florida's going to go on some sort of run, but that is the Florida team right there that we thought we were going to get from the very beginning. Like, we got it against Long Island, didn't see him against USF, anybody, LSU, nothing. Like, we were waiting for them, and we both said it last week. Like, I don't know. I mean, you called them an upset, but we didn't know if like that offense could get it clicking against this Texas defense. And sure enough, they did, man. And Billy Napier lives to breathe another day.
Billy Napier's last stand, baby. Upset alert. I had people texting me, man, after that game. It was like, I can't believe you actually went with that. They're like, actually, I can believe you actually did that with how much that you've backed Billy Napier in Florida over the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, really, I mean, dude, it's not hard. Okay. Sometimes we try to make this harder than it is. Florida's defense has been legit all year. It's been
Mhm.
really good, really, really good all year. They played good enough to beat LSU and South Florida defensively, without question. Played really well defensively against Miami too. But man, DJ Lagway being efficient, 21 for 28, not turning the ball over 4 or 5. Isn't it amazing what happens when you don't turn the ball over 3 or 4 to 5 times and you don't have 8 zillion penalties? Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing what happens then when you're efficient. Because Florida's got athletes, Florida's got dudes, and one of those dudes we all got to see on display finally, Dallas
Mhm.
Wilson, the freshman phenom that we had heard a lot of people again, you know how it is, man. Everybody makes comps to everybody. Sometimes it's very unfair that people make these types of comps. But Dallas Wilson was like being said that he was like the closest thing like of a true freshman type wide receiver that would be like a Jeremiah Smith this
Mhm.
year. Like the stuff that he did, like he was the MVP, I'm pretty sure, of their spring game, some of the types of catches that he was making. And then he got hurt, in fall camp and didn't get to see him yet this year. But seeing him and seeing the other freshman phenom, Burnell Brown the third, together on the field at the same time, obviously, man, that just provides a completely different dynamic for Florida's passing offense. I mean, dude, Dallas Wilson averaged like almost 20 yards a catch in this game and had 2 touchdowns. So he just allows them to be more an option to be more explosive down the field.
Yeah.
And again, Florida's defense was legit again. Uh, and I know you say that I'm not saying Florida's going to go on some type of run. Maybe they don't, but dude, they're good enough to do it. They are. They're talented. They are talented enough on both sides of the ball. Again, defense travels. Jaden Ball, they finally did what we said they should do. That I think I've literally got it pulled up here. I'm gonna
He had
take
like
my time and
27
actually
carries.
he had 27 carries, but he also well, the other part of it was so he touched the ball 30 times.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, Florida. Give like what does Florida fans say? Run the ball. Yes, give that dude
Run the ball.
run the ball. Yeah. Give him the ball. Like,
Yeah.
all like, that dude should never not I think I kept saying each week is there's no reason that guy shouldn't have at least 20 carries in every game. I think that's
Yeah.
the best way. He should have a minimum of 20 touches, whether that's passing game, running game, whatever. So everything that you want to look at for Florida and a recipe for success, they had it in this game. Lagway
Yeah.
being efficient and giving the freaking rock to Jaden Baugh and letting their defense work.
It's gotta be so frustrating though to like
Oh,
again
can't
that
imagine.
the potential is there and like That's why, like, I've seen a lot of people say, like, I mean, Napier still needs to go because, like, that's even more frustrating is that you drop games to USF at home,
Yep.
and then you go and you can beat Texas at home. Like, it's just so much inconsistency, so you never know what you're gonna get
Yep.
with that team. On the Texas side, like, I kinda it through 5 games, it looks like we know what we're gonna get. Like, Arch, obviously, he may end up not being the answer at quarterback, but, like, Sark and the play calling is doing him absolutely no favors at all.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
And
don't understand.
yeah, and it's just first of all, Texas fans, we've talked about it. I mean, weeks ago. You guys should really, all each one of you should handwrite an apology letter to Quinn Ewers,
Yes.
for everything you ever said about him.
Yep.
Because obviously, you would love to have Ewers right now.
Oh, dude, I don't
Second of
mean I
all,
don't
like,
I really don't mean to cut you off. You know what we really should do? Everybody that hops in our, mentions 8 months later and says, "I kept receipts," or, "Hey, update, this didn't age well," all that stuff, bro. I'm gonna go back to that Quinn Ewers post that we had where all those Texas fans were just blasting him, bro,
oh yeah, yeah,
blasting him.
yep,
When we were talking about at the end of last year that Ewers maybe shouldn't go pro, that he should take a big NIL deal and go somewhere else or whatever,
yeah.
and all the Texas fans, man, were killing him. Yeah. Looks like it wasn't Quinn Ewers' fault, was it?
No, I don't think it was at all.
I think they would love to have Quinn Ewers right about now.
Yeah, they would, man. He just Arch. I still don't know if it's a confidence thing. Like, I
I
mean,
haven't given up on him, by the way. Have you?
yeah, I mean, Texas. This just is an utter failure for Texas. Like, they've had
Yeah.
back to back like 5-star quarterbacks, Sarkaz, and obviously they got to the semifinals, but like they've been set up so much for success within their own doing and recruiting and everything. But like,
And
I
that
mean, come on,
defense,
man.
they're winning because of they won game they were competing at the level they were competing at because they had one of the best defenses in all of college football.
I
And
know, but I'm saying they've done that. Yes, that's
yeah.
within their own doing. Outside factors have assisted them so
Oh,
much.
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Go talk to Greg Sankey about the SEC schedule that he gave them the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy how much they were set up, and you're like you said, 3-2 after 5 games.
Yep.
They're sitting here 3-2. Red River becomes a must win
Yeah.
for Texas right now.
Yeah, because they're not a team that can go 9-3, by the way, with their schedule.
Mm-mm.
Texas is absolutely, if they lose this game to Oklahoma this coming up week, their season is over as far as playoff, championship aspirations, anything like that. They are not one of those teams that can do it. Uh, I just it's puzzling, man, because like Sark has been such a good play caller in the past. But now I've seen people putting on Twitter, like, when's the last time Sark developed a really good quarterback? When's the last time, then you're like, dang, now I'm even questioning. I mean, I'm definitely questioning it this year. Uh, and man, it
Yeah,
just doesn't seem like the running game, they can't run the football as well as which we thought they would be able to. They're just the defense is still really good, but there's only so much they can do, man.
yeah,
And I just I was said before the year started, it was one of the things we talked about, like that we pointed out when you look at Texas's schedule, going on the road to play Ohio State and going to the swamp, as good as we thought Florida was going to be, that it wouldn't shock us if Texas ended up being 3-2. Now, the only thing I will say, it does shock me the way that they've looked while going 3-2, just being inept basically on
yeah,
offense, and Arch just being mid at best.
yeah.
Uh, that's the part that is crazy.
And
Eh,
again, they have not beat a Power 4 opponent.
nope,
Same as Penn State.
nope, they have not. And I just want to point this out while we're still on this game. If Florida could somehow slow down that Texas A&M train and beat Texas A&M this coming up Saturday, you look at their schedule, bro. I mean, it's not out of the question that they really could go on that run that you're talking about.
Mhm.
Uh, including Georgia, I think this is their toughest game left. And if they could somehow win in College Station, the week to week roller coaster that Bailey Napier is about to take the Gator Nation on a ride again, bro. Just
Yeah.
incredible. But yeah, Red River this weekend, man. It's do or die for Texas the rest of the way, but
Yep.
especially in this game, because I don't know that they've got a game left on their schedule that they could win two more or something like that that would impress They go to Georgia and they play Texas A&M. Who knows? Man,
Do you
never
think
mind.
they're gonna win those games right now?
No, I don't. No, I
Yeah,
don't. I
exactly.
don't think
So
they're going to go
it'll
2 and
all sort
1.
itself out.
As of right now, no, I do not think they're gonna go 2 and 1 against A&M, Georgia, and Oklahoma, which
Yeah.
that's what they have to do to go 10 and 2.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, let's get to the week 7 ATB top 12 rankings. I'll do odds, you do evens. 1, got another switch. We got Miami. Big win over Florida State. They now have wins over Alabama, Florida State, Florida, and USF. All teams that are very highly power rated. They may not be ranked in every single poll, which they shouldn't be, but they're very highly power rated. So Miami's right up there, strength of record wise with A&M, Oregon, Ohio State. There's no really, like you said earlier, there's no reason Miami shouldn't be in anyone's consensus top 3. Also, we didn't mention it earlier, but Malachi Tony is a freak.
Mhm.
And I mean, one of the comps that like comes to my mind when I watch him play, Tyreek Hill, dude. He's so fast. He's so shifty. He's so good at his routes. And like he got that ball last night and just ran away from the Florida State defense who has athletes on it. So he is a guy to watch, true freshman, wide receiver. He's a guy to watch. Their schedule gets a lot easier now. So we say, I mean, still got some challenging road games, which obviously we saw Penn State lose to UCLA. So anybody can lose anywhere. That's the beauty of college football in 2025. So we got Miami at number 1.
And number 2, we've got the Ohio State Buckeyes. We had them at number 1 last week, but I mean, all they did was go out and just spank the Ghosts 42-3. But yeah, like Tyler just said, the wins, the overall resume at this moment, as we sit here right now, Miami's is tough to beat at
Yeah.
this moment. Would you say is the Ohio State defense the most dominant unit in college football right now
So far,
at this point?
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Washington is the best offense they've played. Is that right?
Probably. It's a good point because, like, obviously Texas's offense has been booty all year.
Yeah.
Minnesota's offense isn't very good. They're okay. Well, you're right. It seems like Ohio State's defense is one of the best, but you know,
I mean, I still think they're really good. And then they go to Illinois this weekend, which obviously, is not known for their offense, but I mean, they're not going to play. I mean, they don't have a really daunting offense the rest of the year until they possibly play Oregon in the Big Ten championship game.
yeah. And man, and on the other side of the ball, Julian Sayin just so efficient, making
Yeah.
plays, managing the game well. I know he's got a plethora of weapons around him to distribute the ball to. That's just totally unfair. And speaking of that, Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith 3 touchdowns combined in their game against Minnesota. Carnell Tate had like over 180 yards receiving, and Jeremiah Smith had a big day again. So yeah, I mean the Buckeyes, man, are just balanced as can be on both sides of the ball, but that defense is just so nasty right now.
Yeah. Number 3, we got the Oregon Ducks. So again, that's their consensus number 3 right there. They were on a bye. They get Indiana this week up in Eugene at Autzen at 3:30. We'll be previewing that game in our episode coming up on Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll also tell you what the spread is here coming up and guess the spread.
At number 4, gig 'em, Texas A&M, the Aggies. That was one of my best bets of the week was Texas. You had them too, didn't you?
Yep.
Texas A&M minus 14. It ended up getting all the way up to around 17 by
It was
kickoff.
like 16.5, 17. Yeah.
Yeah, and they covered that too. The Ags won 31-9. Just overall, man, a dominant performance. I mean, they started out kind of slow. Uh, they were only up like 7-3, like early. They got stuffed on the 1 yard line because Texas A&M is another one of those teams in college football that just cannot go under center and run a play under center. They have to be in shotgun every freaking play. So they're just snapping the ball back to the 6 yard line every play instead of just lining up under center. And I just don't understand, man, why teams don't practice in the offseason. At least practice the tush push or something.
Yeah.
And half a yard to a yard to goal type situations. But neither here nor there. I mean, they 303 yards rushing, man. I mean, Texas A&M is a wagon running the freaking football right now, dude. An absolute wagon running the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
Le'Veon Moss is their dude. I mean, Ruben Owens had 142 yards rushing in this game. So, I mean, that stable of backs that they've got in their backfield. I mean, they're scary, man, and that defense is getting better and better every week. under Mike Elko right now. And
Yep.
they've got a, I know I don't care what anybody says, they've got a big one this week, man. This You do not want to see this Florida Gator bunch start getting hot and start filling themselves with the talent that they've got. And I think this is going to be a really good football game in College Station this week with the Gators and the Ags.
Number 5, Oklahoma. They were basically on bye this week. They played the old active bye Kent State, 44 nothing win. Michael Hawkins' first start of the season. Still don't know about John Mateer. Our guys at 3 Tech broke the story about the old tortilla presser there at Chipotle or Qdoba or wherever it was. And so we don't know. I mean, it's up in the air. Venable says he's not expecting him to play, but that could be some gamesmanship. Luckily, we've got SEC injury reports now on Wednesday, so we'll see. We'll see how they do that. But it's a big one, obviously, every year in Red River. But obviously, for this Oklahoma bunch, to have John Mateer, their leader, out there would be huge.
Yep. And at number 6, a team that was on a bye this week was Ole Miss, the Rebs. Maybe the bye week is the only thing that can stop Trinidad Chambliss and the Lane Kiffin Ole Miss offense right now. And saw that, by the way, too, when I was looking up those Heisman odds. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss is top 7 or 8 in the Heisman
Oh
odds
yeah,
right now. Good for him, man. What a story. Oh, Ferris State. But yeah, I saw Lane Kiffin. I think he was like at some concert in Nashville or something with like Theo Vaughn and some others at one point over the weekend. Maybe it was Friday night or something. So he was enjoying the
yeah,
bye week too. But yeah, Ole Miss, the last time we saw them on the field, they took care of business against LSU at home. We'll a lot more to tell about the Revs going forward.
yep. Another bye week team at number 7, the Indiana Hoosiers. Last we saw, they were taking care of business against Iowa. And again, they've got a big one coming up. In our poll, we've got number 3 versus number 7. I think that's actually the AP poll, which we'll touch on here in a second. But Indiana number 7, big one coming up in Autzen this weekend.
Number 8, Guns Up. Texas Tech remains undefeated. And that's right. There's that Frost buddy there. Texas Tech went on the road. I mean, a lot of people were pointing this out to be a really tough spot type game for them in Houston. I believe Houston was undefeated going into that game. And your boy here, I put him out as a best bet, laid the like 10.5, 11, whatever it was. And I mean, Texas Tech just dominated this game, dude. That defense again is it's amazing what a coordinator and getting a really talented defensive front will do. I'm going to ask
Yeah.
you this question, Tyler. I was talking to my dad about this the other day. I think Texas Tech's starting defensive front is better than Alabama's, better than Georgia's, better than like a lot of your big time teams in the Big Ten and the SEC, your bigger name brand teams,
Mhm.
quote unquote. Texas Tech's starting defensive front's better than theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Like they're nasty, dude. Like, I,
Oklahoma's probably better.
yes, I would say right off the top of my head,
But I mean,
Oklahoma.
it's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, Oklahoma's is better. Ohio State's is probably better. Not probably. Ohio State's is better. But like, yeah, I think they're top 5
Yeah.
in the country just as far as their starting defensive line, not the depth, maybe even the depth. I don't know. But their front 7 in general. Like, I mean, they've got really good linebackers too. Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts are studs at linebackers. So their front 7 is legit. And I had to train myself to quit thinking this way before the Houston game when I'm thinking about like Texas Tech and some of these Big 12 matchups. Like, dude, some of these teams don't have the guys. No offense to anybody in the Big 12. I'm not saying all the teams, but some of these teams just flat out don't have the guys that can deal with this Texas Tech defensive front, man. They just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they showed up and just punked Houston, just punked them. I mean, Houston's offensive numbers, when you look at it in this game, were awful. And because of that Texas Tech defensive front, just stoned their ass
Yeah.
in Houston Saturday night.
Number 9, we got Alabama. It didn't really work out. I mean, we're not opposed to like putting, one-loss teams ahead of undefeated teams. Obviously, we haven't even mentioned Mizzou, right? But it's kind of worked out like these top 8 teams, they all undefeated. Alabama comes in as probably the best one-loss team in the country because of the wins they have. Honestly, they have better, wins than a lot of these teams listed ahead of them.
Yep.
But they've got that one in the loss column and it's got to count for something. So we got Alabama slotted in at number 9. And obviously, they've got a big game this weekend coming up against a team that we'll mention here in a second.
Yep, but number 10, Georgia. Uh, Georgia just again put a spanking on Kentucky. I just, Mark, if Kentucky wants to break out the buyout money at the end of the year and pay all that money to Mark Stoops, uh, that's going to be interesting because they owe him. It's going to be like around 36 million that they owe him, and I think they have to pay it within. They have to pay the full amount within 30 days of notice of termination. 30 or 60 days of notice of termination. It's not one of those contracts like some of these other people's buyouts where you pay it for the next 10 years in monthly installments or quarterly installments. No, they would owe every penny to Mark Stoops within the first 30 to 60 days. And Georgia took care of business. I think they were laying 20 and a half, and they won by 21.
Yep.
So they covered. But yeah, obviously a lot more to learn about the Dogs going forward. They got some big games coming up down the stretch.
Number 11, here we go. Another undefeated team. Missouri Tigers finally cracked the top 12. They've got a big one against Alabama this week. They run by this week. Bo Perbula, obviously, we've talked about him versus Drew Aller. Looks really good. Bo Perbula is a guy that we're going to talk about in that matchup. We're going to preview a ton of games coming up on our episode. This is going to be one of them for sure. Again, this is going to be his biggest test. It's going to be a test for Alabama defense too. Again, going against a mobile quarterback like that, and a lot of talented wide receivers and running backs, and again, them having the rest advantage and Drink obviously drawing some stuff up. We'll see what happens, but for right now, Mizzou just kind of everyone's dropping back behind them. They're just kind of minding their own business, taking care of business, not leaving the state of Missouri for the first month and a half. They slotted in number 11 right now.
Yeah, and their offense overall, man, they're one of the more balanced offenses in college football right now. But we'll find out a lot more about them this weekend. That's going to be a good one in Como Saturday at noon, no doubt. Number 12, we've got Tennessee. The Vols, they were pretty sure they were on a bye this past week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they were on a bye this past week. They welcomed the Bobby Petrino Arkansas Razorbacks, the Hogs, into Knoxville this coming up Saturday. So that one could be interesting because, again, if you get the good version of Taylor Green, then the Hogs can be in every game. If you get the bad version of Taylor Green, you could find yourself down 30 because he's turned it over 2 or 3 times. And the thing is, you might get both versions during the game. Petrino fired the defensive staff. Don't blame him because that defense couldn't stop a freaking nosebleed. So I have no idea who's running the defense at this point. I haven't really looked into that. I don't know that their defensive overall personnel is worth a dang to begin with. So Tennessee should be able to take care of business this week. But the Vols got some big ones coming up here down the stretch. Notably, they go to Alabama here soon. They go to the Swamp and play Florida on the road. But at this point, yeah, we slotted the Vols in here at 12.
So top 12 one more time. 1 Miami, 2 Ohio State, 3 Oregon, 4 Texas A&M, 5 Oklahoma, 6 Ole Miss, 7 Indiana, 8 Texas Tech, 9 Alabama, 10 Georgia, 11 Mizzou, 12 Tennessee. Don't hate us because we have 7 SEC teams in the top 12. Let's talk AP poll here, man. Props to them. They did kick out Penn State and Texas from the AP poll. So 111 people still voted Texas in their top 25. They still got 111 votes, 97 for Penn State. I don't think it's 111 people. I can't remember how they do that, but they still got some other receiving votes, whatever. Can't really argue with their top 10 at all. I mean, it's basically our top 10. They have Alabama ahead of Texas Tech, but Georgia's at number 10. I mean, the top 7 are the same as ours, basically. They do have LSU at 11. They still have Mizzou down at 14, Georgia Tech at 13. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these teams moved up 5 spots from 14 to 19, just due to people losing, teams dropping out, teams falling back. Like Vandy fell back 4 spots, Iowa State fell back 8 spots, Florida State fell back 7 spots. So Florida State is now your only 3-2 team that is currently ranked.
Wait, Notre Dame's 3-2, right?
Oh yeah, Notre Dame's 3-2 as well. Yeah, good call.
Yep,
they're number 16. Iowa State's number 22.
And who's not ranked?
Iowa State got 165 points. Cincinnati got 129 points.
And
I don't know if you
who
watched that game
yeah.
on at noon on Saturday, but Cincinnati was favored in the game. They beat them straight up, 38-30. Also, Cincinnati got 129 points. Nebraska got 60. Are we just forgetting what happened week 1? Like, just not worried about that. Nebraska loses to Michigan by 3, and all of a sudden they're just out of people's minds. You know,
Uh,
some of the stuff just makes no sense. It's like they just don't. Nobody thinks about that. It's crazy, just the stuff that just flies over people's heads.
yeah, I agree. The no Cincinnati was unbelievable in the fact they had Iowa State at 22. Like Cincinnati went on the road and beat Kansas the week before, then they beat Iowa State like they did. And that game too, like Cincinnati was all over Iowa State, and Iowa State ended up
Yeah,
having to make some like late comeback to even make that game respectable there at the end. Yeah, I don't know why Cincinnati's not ranked up to this point.
yeah,
And I mean, that's a good point on the Nebraska thing. I didn't even think about that. Uh, yeah, it's interesting. I don't. This was not as egregious to me as some of the other stuff I've seen them the AP poll do, but the
yeah,
Cincinnati thing was just so glaring. The fact they had
yeah,
Iowa State at 22 and Cincinnati just played them and just beat them, and Cincinnati went on the road the week prior and beat Kansas on the road at Kansas, and then followed that up by beating Iowa State and were favored over them and all that, and they're still not ranked. That's just the
yeah,
definition of like what Josh Pate said here recently. The only crime that Cincinnati has committed, the reason why they're not ranked, is because their name is Cincinnati.
yeah,
That's really the answer
yeah.
to that at this point.
Shame on the coaches poll too. They got 19 Texas and 22 Penn State.
Oh me, yeah. I just can't believe that we used to decide the champion of our sport here, and what things that were factored into ranking teams at the end of the year for the BCS. I know it was like very smallly weighted, but the AP and the coaches poll being even looked at was for any of that is remarkable.
Yeah, yeah. All right. As always, we'll finish off with a little guess the spread. These are lines as of Sunday night, consensus lines. So across all the books, just kind of grab the consensus from the 4 main books that I use. So let's start off with Ohio State at Illinois.
I'll say Buckeyes 17.
Buckeyes 15.5.
Okay, a little respect
Odd,
there.
odd, odd number. Odd number.
It is. It is. That's what
Um,
Texas A&M started out as at one point. They were like 15 and a half, and then got down to 14 and a half. So I'm interested to see where that number goes with the Illini. Uh,
yeah,
Altmaier playing his tail off, bro. Playing good football.
he is. He's playing well. It's going to be a big test for him, obviously,
Whew.
but
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
he's playing well. I mean, you know, Ohio State going on the road. We'll see what they can do again. They went to Washington and performed very, very well. So we'll see what they can do in Champaign. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. Alabama at Mizzou.
Well, I looked at it, but I looked at it yesterday, and I
Okay.
got people texting it to me yesterday, so I don't know if it's changed any. But when I saw it, it was Alabama 4.5.
Alabama 3.5.
Okay.
How does it make you feel?
Oh, I've already told you this. The games
Yeah.
that worry as a again, we don't hide our fandom here. Anybody that listens to us knows that who we're fans of. Uh, the games that worry me the most for Alabama. One of them's this week.
Yeah.
The other one, I'm not going to say it because I refuse to say it out loud.
How about Deep South's oldest rivalry, Georgia at Auburn?
Georgia 6.
Georgia minus 3.5.
Okay. Hey, maybe odds makers know about that voodoo magic that takes place there. And this is a night game too, isn't it?
It is a night game in Jordan
Oh
Hare.
man.
Yeah.
All I got to say is Georgia, do not let that game get to the fourth quarter and it be in doubt. You get
Hmm.
that game to the fourth quarter and Auburn's sitting there either right in a one possession game or winning, and that swag surf comes on and those
Yep.
fireworks go off and that all that light show starts happening. Yeah, man, that's you want to talk about Billy Napier's last stand? That might be Hugh Freeze's last stand this year, this game. Because seriously, every Auburn friend that I've got, man, they're hanging on by a very small thread.
Yeah.
They need this one, dude. I know it's like you sitting there looking at it going, "Oh, great. We need to beat freaking Georgia." You do. This is a gotta have it moment for Hugh Freeze and Auburn.
Yeah.
You actually look at the back half of their schedule really is nowhere near as difficult as this front half of their schedule. I mean, you really think about it, going on the road to Baylor, then they had to go on the road to Oklahoma, then they had to go on the road to Texas A&M. Now they're playing Georgia. That's brutal, man. In the first like
Yeah.
5 weeks of the season, no other way around it.
Yeah.
But they really need this one to kind of right the ship there for old brother Hugh.
Yeah. How about Florida at Texas A&M?
Say A&M 7.5.
A&M 8.5.
No, I ain't gonna do it.
He's thinking about it.
I
He's
ain't gonna
thinking
do it.
about
I
it.
ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it yet. I gotta look at that. I gotta look at that. But no, I'm leaning Florida right now
Okay.
against the spread on that one.
How about Kansas at Texas Tech?
Ooh, guns up. Jalen Daniels, you gonna be running around a lot, brother.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll say Texas Tech somewhere around 2 touchdowns.
Texas Tech minus 14.5.
Okay.
Red River, Oklahoma versus Texas at the Cotton Bowl.
Red River shootout. I'll say Texas probably favored. Hawkins at quarterback. Yeah, I'll say Texas minus 1.5 to 2, like almost to pick them.
Texas minus 2.5.
Okay.
Down from 3.
Dude, that is going to be a defensive slugfest.
Yeah. I mean, everyone saw Michael Hawkins play against or against Texas last year.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Yeah. I mean, the line seems okay. But I wonder if you'll see anything happen this week. If Vegas gets a tip that Mateer's playing and you see all of a sudden that could cross through 0 in Oklahoma.
Oh,
Could be minus 2.5.
100%. No question.
Yeah. Yeah. Michigan at USC. No travel for Lincoln Riley this week.
I'll say, I bet USC's favored in this one. I'll say USC field goal.
USC minus 2.5.
Okay.
How about a battle in Salt Lake City, Arizona State at Utah?
Question for you. Is Utah ranked?
They are not. And
They're
Arizona
favored.
State is.
And they're favored in this game, I bet. I'll say Utah 3.5.
Utah minus 5.5.
Ooh. So we got an unranked team.
Yep.
Favorite over a ranked team.
It went 1-1 this past week.
It did. It did. We were on the who was the other one?
Louisville lost.
Oh, yeah. So we were 1-1 in best bets on that one. Okay. Utah 5.5.
5.5. Can Sam Levin and the boys get it done again? They've had a tough schedule.
Yes, they have. They really have.
They've won some good games.
Hey, is this one the late night? Like, is this the?
It is.
Oh, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna have to drink me a Celsius at about 5 o'clock in the evening because I want to stay up for that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Let's finish off with where College Game Day is going to take place. Indiana at Oregon.
Ooh, Siggs and the boys heading out to Autzen. I'll say the Ducks 10.
It is currently the Ducks minus 8.5 consensus, and I have seen some 7.5s out there.
Look at the Hoosiers getting some respect. That's a major respect. I mean, golly, 8.5, so going down to 7.5 on the road in Autzen.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, a couple weeks to prepare for both teams, so that should be a good one.
Is that an afternoon
We're going to
game?
be back on 3:30 on CBS.
Okay.
We're going to be back on Wednesday/Thursday whenever you watch it on YouTube or listen to it on Apple and Spotify. We'll be back. I think we've got another week where it's 5 or 6 games at least to talk about, a couple under the radar games. Before we leave you, I got a couple of best bets.
Let's go. Let it rip.
I went ahead and I took USC on the money line minus 120. over Michigan.
Uh,
USC has played well at home.
yep.
They played really well last year against Penn State. I know that Bryce Underwood's 1-1 on the road so far. He went to Nebraska and got the win. He just they have no receivers. Like they have not been able to do anything as from the receiver position.
Yep.
They looked very underwhelming against Wisconsin this past week. I don't have the stats in front of me. I think he threw for maybe a touchdown or two, but that brings his total up to like 3 or 4. So they're doing all their damage on the ground. I think it should be a really, really good game in LA. So I'm taking USC minus 120. And then I took Michigan State minus 7.5
UCLA.
Against UCLA.
There's the spot game. That's the spot.
Yeah.
That's the spot game of the week. No question.
I thought it would be around 10.5. I texted Freddie last night. I thought it would be around 10.5, and it opened up at 7.5. Jumped on it right away.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if it'll move or not. It may move against me because people may be on the UCLA train all of a sudden. But it's a noon kickoff.
Got to take a chance with that.
Lansing. It's a noon kickoff.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, I'll just say right now.
Bets I got so far.
What's the line right now?
Minus 7.5.
All right, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with you. Michigan State minus 7.5.
Okay.
Just the spot. I just got to take the spot in this game, man. See, I'll take the Spartans at home in East Lansing. It's a noon kickoff. You said
noon kickoff.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. If it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. It's fine. But I'm gonna back the spot.
Might be a mortgage bet for me.
Okay. I hear you. All right. Well, I'm definitely on board with the spot and with the Spartans. So I'll ride with Sparty with you on that one.
Good deal. You got anything else?
No, man, that's it.
Okay. We'll be back later on this week with our week 7 preview. So stay tuned. Again, follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok, and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. For Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Nohe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.